And we're back with another movie review.
Yes.
I'm Chick 1.
And I'm Chick 2.
And we are
The Review Chicks.
So what we got for today?
So today we're coming to you with Billie Holiday versus the U.S. Was that the correct title?
Yes.
Okay.
Versus the United States? Yes.
Yes. So, I always like to start off with like the overall opinion, but I don't know if you, but yeah, okay. So like what you want to give the overall movie? What you rate it, 1 to 10?
So a 1 to 10, I give it a 9.
Okay.
I really enjoyed this version of the Billie Holiday story. I think Andre, I don't really know how you say her name, but I think she did a really good job. Mm-hmm. A really good job. Like, she sounds like Billie Holiday. I always thought so anyway. She seemed to embody her. She got the voice. It was perfect. She deserved that. I think she got a Golden Globe.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. She won an award, so I liked it.
I agree with you. I'll give it a 9. I thought it was really well done. She was a great actress. How she portrayed, she was giving me Eartha Kitt, so I could see her playing Eartha Kitt biography. She would be spot on Eartha Kitt.
She would be
I just kept thinking about that every time I saw her. But then, like, after I went through Google and pulled up images, like, she looked so similar to Billie Holiday.
She did.
And things like that. So I did think she did a superb job. I didn't have any anticipations. I didn't have any expectations going into this movie at all. I was just really curious, like, how Hulu did with it and, like, what it was going to be about. And, of course, the song that it's surrounded by, which almost remind me of Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So I was kind of sort of thinking, like, I wanted that to be longer, but I still thought that was great. So I was kind of sort of like, was really interested in how this story was going to play out surrounding that song. And it was very well done. Very well done.
Yes, because as you know, it's only one other movie about Billie Holiday, which is the one that Diana Ross did, which is Lady Sings the Blues.
Oh, okay.
So have you ever seen that?
I think I saw it a long time ago.
Yes, which is awesome. I love Lady Sings the Blues also. But this new one took on like a different direction. Lady Sings the Blues kind of went back like way far from the beginning, and that movie was pretty long as well. But it was more of her personal life in there.
Oh, okay.
This one took a different approach because of that song, Strange Fruit. Mm-hmm. Everything was kind of around that song, like how upset they were over that song. And I did not know that they were going so hard at her.
The FBI did not let her
for
live.
That song. Yes, because Lady Sings the Blues didn't really touch too much on that song and how the FBI was on her, like they were on her ass.
Yeah, that seems like to be a big part of her legacy.
Yes, that's that song.
And I want to say I did see that movie like years ago, because I remember watching like, oh man, I want to see. But I think I really saw it years ago. But yeah, that had to be like a big part of her legacy. So for that not to be like in the original movie that you remember, it's like really a bit shocking. Because I never thought that you can create a 2-hour movie around one song, and that song really like sparked so much.
Yeah, it seems to have
the fact that they were just going after her like that over one song.
It was a lot of part of her career is singing this song that her, obviously black people wanted her to perform. They wanted to hear it. And
white people were still coming to see her?
They were. Mm-hmm. They were, but it was probably a lot of people who did not care to hear that. And the fact that she had to battle with that as an artist, as a singer, this is my song and I can't sing it. And he was at shows, like, looking at her like, sing the song if you want to. I'm looking. Sing the song. Girl, it kind of reminded me of, you seen the NWA movie?
No.
You never seen that? Because they had a similar experience with the police not wanting them to sing, to perform.
Oh, that song, really?
Yes. All that with the fuck the police.
That wasn't even part of their story inside of what's the movie that they have with Dr. Dre? They put that song in there. It was a little part of they was on the bus and they talked about that song.
The NWA movie, yeah, because they wasn't supposed to perform that song, and the police were right there with them too, looking like, you sing the song, we're arresting y'all on sight, and that's exactly what happened. So it's like, how do you have the right to censor people's artistic stuff? So that's crazy because it still happened to another artist, rap artist, years later.
that just goes to show you like how much power, you know, we have in individuals, and it's affecting change. You know, when you're talking about like a song, and people feel like it's gonna really spark, you know, people, I guess, to maybe riot or to get them like raised up or whatever they thought was gonna happen from the song. You know, maybe black or white people, maybe they felt like it would then make white people look at it a little bit differently.
And that scares.
That was just really interesting because it made me think about like everybody else at that time and what songs they were putting out and what else they had to deal with. Because me personally, I was thinking like, I'm surprised they didn't just kill her. As much as they were going after her, I'm like, they didn't sleep nothing in her drink. They didn't try to like
I would think that they
do
would
something
just
crazy like that to her. Like the way they were just
exactly. They could have easily done that. And back in those days, it would just moved on. You're lynching, you're killing, it doesn't matter. They could have done it and moved on. But it seemed like he got a kick out of the whole harassment of watching her. And, you know, because that can't be comfortable every time. And her manager / boyfriend at the time, he would tell her to, hey, get this out of the show. And she'd be like, that's my song, I want to sing it. And some nights she was like, okay, she obliged and she didn't sing it. Other nights she did. And she was like, hey, this is a song that's happening to my people right now and they want me to sing it.
Right.
What is the point of being a celebrity and having this platform if I can't use it for change? That's what she was pretty much.
People. Exactly.
Yes, and that's what she was saying to the interviewer. The Leslie, what is his name?
I love him.
I love him too.
Oh my God, he was hilarious.
Yes.
I can't think of his name right now, but he is hilarious. I was really surprised by that. I was just like,
but
and go ask her how does it feel to be black. I was like, no.
And Miss Lawrence checked him real quick.
Oh yes,
checked him like he was her protector, and for him to ask her, why don't you just stop singing a song, honey? Why don't you, like, it's not that easy. Like, what do you mean stop singing a song? Why should I have to stop singing a song? He wants to silence me because he don't want the world to know what they're doing. They're lynching black people every day for no reason.
Yeah.
And she wanted to sing about it, but through all of that, even though she was addicted to drugs, she still was an activist. She wanted to be an activist for her people.
Yeah.
And they tried to kind of mess up her legacy and her name because of the drugs. Like, because like, we're going to get her on the drugs.
Yeah.
So that's what he kind of found. Instead of killing her, you know she a drug addict. We can just plant some stuff on her. But the dude, the black
the FBI agent?
Yes, that they were sending out there. And I'm like, is that really true? Like,
so I had to look that up, and they don't know if it was. So that was a part of it that was very dramatized for the movie.
Okay.
That they're not sure if they did have a relationship. I looked it up and they said that he did come to a bar one time and talk to her. The part where he goes and first arrests her, he did pull her to the side and ask if she wanted him to speak on her behalf to them to try to ease her sentences. But the whole part about like their relationship and all the sex that was in there, that they like as if that was like her true love, and she just didn't understand how to accept real love, and she was just more attracted, or she knew pain as love, and like, you know, that sweet kind love was just something that she wasn't used to. It was all fabricated. You know, there was no proof that they had a sexual relationship or anything like that, but they did allure that maybe he did like her, maybe they, you know, did love, but there was nothing to show that they really had a relationship as what was portrayed on film. But because I was curious about that, because I was like, he didn't get in trouble for this, or like, especially the part where he was like taking the drug himself, but that was like a huge part of the story. So I guess, like, you know, that had to be like something dramatic, because that was a huge part. Besides the song, it was like the love affair between those two was like, and I guess that's kind of sort of what made it.
And that was a big struggle with her own people were trying to go in on it and take her down. So I can imagine like being back in that time period where other black people were helping out to kind of take you down. It's like, hey, you know, I got to do what I got to do because I'm trying to stay alive and live out here too. If it means taking you down, okay.
Which is really interesting because, like, his mom was rich. Now, whether or not that's true of his backstory, that his family owned a morgue business, you know. it was kind of interesting. Like, I didn't even know where it was going when his mom asked him, like, I know what you're doing in them clubs and in that suit. So I was thinking, like, is he pretending to be a person from, and he not really, but it turned out he was like, FBI.
Yeah.
Even his mama, I guess she didn't know that he was the FBI.
No, but even she didn't agree with Billie Holiday. Like,
but she got happy. But see,
yes,
that's the thing where
did.
it's funny how she was kind of sort of now part of him being in the clubs and spotlight. But when he said, "I met Billie Holiday tonight," she was like, "Oh, you met Billie."
Right.
She got all uppity and happy and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. She was not down for what he was doing when she found out.
Yeah, funny how
but
that.
she was proud of her. She was proud of what she was doing, so she was down for that. Like, yes, she's representing for her people, but all this, I don't know if those two best friends, Miss Lawrence and the lady with the eye patch.
Yes,
I don't know.
I wonder if there are actual real people, because I want to know the story behind that, because I don't know if they were more enablers. Because, like, it made it seem like the FBI agent was, like, at that part, like, you don't need that. And she was really trying to, she went to jail, then she got clean, and she was trying to do it again. And then I think she got the pressure. And then whoever was the supplier, the white dude, whatever it could be, I don't know if they were enablers, like, where they was, like, giving her the stuff, where they felt like she could get it anywhere and we know you.
It just seems like they were just there and going with the flow of whatever she wanted to do instead of just telling her, no, we getting off of this. Because they were indulging themselves at some point.
Oh, yeah, they all were doing it. That's right.
Yeah, so it wasn't like they were really trying to stop her. It's like, hey, you doing it? We good. We doing it too. You not doing it? That's good. Mm-hmm. But no one was really like, so they could be like enablers. But what tripped me out is the bus breakdown.
I was just about to get on that. Yes, and leaving behind a little bit.
Yeah, they cared about her. Like, I saw like a family dynamic there. Mm-hmm. But she was so quick to, all right, y'all be good, I'm out. Figure out y'all way how to get home. Because my husband here now, and I'm out. And Chris, which from everybody hates Chris, I forget this boy's name. But ain't it crazy how his name was Chris in the movie too?
Mm-hmm. And I looked that up though. I looked it up, and apparently he died like in 2008.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a really interesting thing, because you're going like, how old was he when he was playing with her? But if you look it up, he played with her for some years with somebody else. He died in 2008. He was like 10 years or 20 years difference between her. I think it was like 10 years or something like that.
Because he was a young.
Because I was trying to figure out, did he like, obviously, I guess that part where like, I think his character was supposed to die, and the wife didn't let her come to the funeral and see, but he really didn't die until like 2018. So obviously he outlived
because I was
Billie.
like, I was confused with that, because I thought that he died in the movie, and she was like, his mom won't even let me. I understand why his mama wouldn't let her. You're not gonna leave my baby out, because I know he went home and said all kinds of stuff about her. Like, I can't believe we're supposed to be family, and she left us there. And she was gonna leave all of them.
Get a bus ride home. That's where you can. But they got the FBI agent there. He was.
But yeah, he's gonna find a way home. But Miss Lawrence, she wasn't even gonna take her two main entourage. She finally said, okay, y'all come on.
Yeah.
But she was gonna leave them where they was. So that pretty much showed them where they stand. Like,
yeah, when it came to that dude, he was like,
when it
get
comes,
in this car, let's go.
It's just gonna be about her. But if she had to choose, it was just gonna be those two. And he told her right. It was like, family don't do this shit. And she still didn't care. She cared more about that FBI dude.
I'll send you a bus ticket back home, or a plane, whatever she said. She sent
some
money.
Out.
And I don't know where she was sending some money in the middle of nowhere.
Right? She was out, and you didn't see them again. And I wouldn't blame him, because that was wrong.
And you would think he was coming, however he came, they could have had a bus follow behind to pick up everybody else. So that was kind of like, where she, they didn't have cell phones, so how she...
Right. And it was obvious, this husband, there was no real connection. They were just on paper, because she was having affairs with several different men throughout this movie.
Yeah.
But she still had that husband. And he had the nerve to be jealous.
Yes! That was like the weirdest thing, him showing up at the hospital like he was caring. Like he was all concerned.
And what's the saddest part is her decline, how sick she got.
Yeah.
How she just could not kick that addiction. And I think a lot of that had to do with...
But she had a problem with alcoholism too, right? That was a big part of like
drugs. She did drink, but it was mostly drugs. Because I believe a lot of it had to do with depression. A lot of... I mean, she sung the blues, and she said it a lot, like the Good Morning Heartache song.
Yeah, her childhood part that they popped in there was just like...
Yeah, a lot of her... How her mom left her at the whorehouse, right? She's like, "No, you gotta go. Because I gotta make money.
Yeah, go across the street and you can come over here anytime you want." And I'm like, oh my God. I just can't...
I guess it's hard for a person to have that upbringing to kind of really go through life easily.
Yeah, you just see you see men coming up like people's lives,
never
people
saw
use sex
normal,
and
right.
stuff like that. So yeah.
So she was kind of like,
how are you gonna know what love is?
Exactly, like a tortured, talented soul.
Mm-hmm.
So as she became sicker and sicker, like her voice, even as acting, her voice, the way she
got that deep rasp.
Mm-hmm. And it sounded like, yep, that sounds like Billie Holiday, right? You know,
mm-hmm.
Diana Ross was great in it, but Diana still had her Diana voice when she would play Billie Holiday. Audra Day had the whole, and she was singing these songs in real life.
Okay, I didn't know
That's
that.
her voice.
Oh, okay.
And she sounds so good singing Strange Fruit.
Yes, she did. Okay, I didn't know that was her voice.
I like her voice. I also like Nina Simone's rendition of Strange Fruit. But that song is haunting and very depressing, messed up, emotional. I get all kind of emotions when I hear that song. But what really got me was even on her deathbed, he still cuffed her legs to the bed while she was dying.
Yeah, that tripped me.
But she's dying.
That tripped me.
So all the way to the end, he was on her.
But you know, when the way they were acting, and then the FBI, when they kind of sort of showed him his true colors, when he thought he was on their side and a part of the team, and they, snapped at him or said what they said, I was like, they didn't care about her, even though they were fans, oh, my wife's a fan, or whatever the case may be. No. She was just the N word.
Yeah, like still stay in your place.
Yeah.
That's how it was back then.
She entertained them, but at the end of the day, they didn't care for her. She was nothing, even in death.
Yeah, no matter what your job was, no matter how successful you were, you still were considered, you're nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to act like that's not true today.
Right.
So, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Oh.
Still the same old same.
Girl, yes.
But
it was a very good movie. I thought it was very well done. I actually look forward to more movies coming around songs and things like that. Like I said, Monterey's Ballad, like really, I don't know if that's where they got it from, but I enjoyed that one. I wish that was a little bit longer. And then now this one is like, oh, okay, what other songs are going to get?
I want more of those artists from back then. Mm-hmm. Like we got Bessie, we got Ma Rainey, Billie Holiday, because she did mention like how a few of those same singers were not singing the songs. They were like backing away from that. They were not using their voice to help their people. A lot of them wasn't. But
and I can understand that. A lot of people, they're there to support, but they're not trying to
get killed.
Yeah, die for a cause or put themselves in a situation. They're just trying to survive.
That's true.
And that's understandable for anybody.
Mm-hmm. But she was brave enough, and she did it to the end. And they had to show this man, like when they, at the end of the movie, how they showed that it's a real life, the FBI agent who really did that. How he got all kinds of accolades. Yeah. The White House. And I'm like, he was such a little bitch.
Exactly.
You on this lady.
Honored and
I'm sorry,
treated
but
like a
he was a
hero.
Like, you don't handcuff someone to their deathbed. She's dying. That was his last petty effort to me. Mm-hmm. Like, she's dying, sir. Handcuff her anyway. She's under arrest. What? Why? Where's she going?
She did. And John F. Kennedy just
rewarding him.
For what?
I would like to research and see, like, in his later years, how they asked him, why was it so important for you to be on her?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. that would be a good thing to Google.
But we all know what it is.
I didn't care.
Yeah, we
it's
all
just
know what it is.
another passing person upon his history.
Yeah, how dare they complain about what we're doing to them because they deserve it. That's probably that was his mentality. But
insane.
Kind of sort of like that same what is it? Judas versus the Black Messiah?
Yeah.
It's that same concept. We got to shut you up because you're talking too much. Mm-hmm. And how many people in history had to go through that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
He couldn't live through that, child. He had to commit suicide later on in
that
life.
tripped me out, the end part of that, just to touch on that a little bit, because it was kind of sort of like he lived his whole life now. Mm-hmm. When, of course, he was in protective custody, went through the whole thing, and then he gave that interview. And not phased, really just, what would you tell your son about what you did? And I was thinking, like, you know what? Like, at the end of the day, plenty of people probably would have done the exact same thing that he did. Saving yourself at the end of the day. And in the movie, it did show that he had some type of remorse or some type of, like, didn't want it to happen. But, though he was getting paid and getting stuff like that, he was trying to save himself, But then it's like, I guess maybe seeing himself or watching the interview that he couldn't handle that, and then you just kill yourself like that. It's kind of like, that was very interesting, where it's kind of sort of like, I think even if people came at him, he could have gotten people to understand where he was coming from. I think that was just very easy to sit there and tell a person like, hey, I was sitting here acting like this person. They were giving me this prison time. I didn't want to be in prison. And I said like, hey, okay, I'll go in, and do it. I didn't think they were going to sit up and try to kill him at the time. I think he could have literally wrote a book. He could have had many documentaries expressing himself. He could have had his regrets. I think that's something that, he could have explained over time. And I just really don't understand why he just... Because he gave the interview like he was okay.
I think, he was being tortured from that time that he was in there doing that plan. Mm-hmm. His whole life after that was torture. Like, that guilt was eating at him until he couldn't take it no more.
And maybe that's what it is.
That was the last straw. And that was like in 1990. I was surprised that he did that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's why I was so shocked. I'm like, you lived through this whole time.
Yeah.
And I guess like now having to be faced with it, I guess. Mm-hmm. I guess maybe that's just that was just too much for him. But I that was just the most intriguing part of that whole thing, was like, now this is the time where you feel like you can't handle it, or the world is going to come after you.
That was going to come to a head either way. That was going to be his that end for him eventually.
I still think he could have explained himself. I still think that he could have
he wasn't going to. I think he was so ashamed, like what they was asking him in that interview. That was all he could give. The excuse. It still felt like, well, I did it, and
that's how I felt too. That he was just like I had to do it. And the way he was talking about, he was like my mentor, my best friend. I was like, okay.
It's like, dude, no.
But that was a good movie. So if you didn't go see that, you need to check that out, because that was really interesting. To see his... I know people didn't like it, but it was interesting to see his side, or however they portrayed why he did it and the outcome and stuff like that. It was intriguing, very intriguing.
Yes, but a Billie Holiday movie, she did really well with that. I enjoyed it. I liked it.
I did. So make sure you guys go check Billie Holiday versus the United States, correct?
Yes.
And check out Strange Fruit. Interesting.
The song Strange Fruit. Listen to the song Strange Fruit. Strange Fruit if you haven't before.
Yeah. And let us know what you think. Comment below, like, and subscribe. And we'll be back next time with another review.
Yes, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye, YouTube.